Forget about Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. LinkedIn is where the real business opportunities are. LinkedIn is the largest business-to-business social network in the world with close to 1 billion professionals active on the platform. So whether you're a sales professional prospecting for leads, or you're just looking for a new job and trying to get in front of recruiters, or just trying to grow your professional network, then LinkedIn is the best place in the world to be. And if you want to stand out from the crowd of literally hundreds of millions of other people and be successful on LinkedIn, then it's crucial that you have a great LinkedIn profile. So in this video, I'll share with you a step-by-step plan to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and I'll share 3 secret tips that no one else is talking about. So let's start with your profile basics. The first thing anyone sees when you show up in their connection requests, search results, or their home feed is your name, profile photo, and headline. So let's dial that in first. Now, obviously, you know that you should include your full name on your profile, including both your first and last name. But what you might not know is that if you have a particularly hard name to pronounce, LinkedIn has a feature where you can include a voice recording of you saying your name so others know how to pronounce it.
Sam Suhan.
Next, optimize your profile picture. Your profile picture is super important because it's your first impression, so make it count. You want to use a high quality close-up photo where you're looking directly into the camera and smiling. Choose a neutral background, dress appropriately, and avoid sunglasses or hats. Now, this doesn't have to look like a passport photo. You can get creative with it and spice it up a bit to stand out. Now, I personally opted to hold a camera in my hand in my profile picture because I do video production, and nothing screams I do video production more than holding a camera. It also stands out because I show a little bit more of my torso than a typical headshot on LinkedIn. Now, if you're not sure about your photo, then there's this awesome tool that you can use to get a sense of how other people view you based on your profile picture. It's called Photo Feeler, and how it works is you upload your photos and then other real people will rate your photos based on key traits like competency, influence, likability, trustworthiness, etc. Now, while that does sound like a Black Mirror episode, it can actually be really helpful to get some real feedback from real people who have no idea who you are and will give you some real, honest, unfiltered feedback about your appearance. Okay, now let's move on to the headline. Your headline is like an ad for your profile. It should draw people in. Instead of just using your job title, you can use a combination of your job function, company name, important keywords, and some kind of X factor. For example, you could go with marketing manager at XYZ company, SEO expert, content creator. Or you can just start off and tell people what it is that you actually do. For my headline, I went with this. I help brands grow with video. Worked with leading B2B companies, Riverside.fm, Canada Goose, Universal Music, and more. Canadian Academy Award nominated director/producer. This immediately establishes what I do and how I could potentially be of help or interest to you. Then I talk about who it is that I typically work with, and then I sprinkled in some credibility. Now, using some variation of this format will help you stand out in searches and makes your profile more intriguing, which will increase the likelihood that someone will hit follow or accept your connection request or message request. And if you want to optimize your profile strictly to gain followers, you could also treat your headline as a literal ad for why someone should follow you. Here are some great examples of this. Okay, next let's talk about the first thing people notice when they actually click through to your profile. Something that you've probably noticed from some of these examples so far, and that's your banner image. Now, don't mistake your banner for just another spot to showcase another photo of yourself. And definitely don't leave it blank or keep it at the default background. This is prime real estate, and it's a huge opportunity for you to establish credibility and let people know what it is that you do. You can almost treat this like the header of your personal website. I highly recommend you create something that reflects your personal brand or your company. Some companies will actually have internal designers that can create a banner for everyone in the company to create a sense of cohesion and promote the brand. And this is awesome for a couple of reasons. It keeps every employee unified and in line with the brand, and it also just promotes the company. If you don't have a personal designer at your disposal, then you can use a simple tool like Canva to choose from hundreds of templates as a starting point. Or you can hire a designer from Fiverr.com or Upwork.com to design you a banner from scratch. Okay, now before we move down to the About section of your profile, you might have noticed these extra buttons on people's LinkedIn profiles. This is because I have the free Wiza Chrome extension installed on my browser, which lets me find anyone's email and phone number on LinkedIn. So that way I can get verified contact information to reach out to them outside of the platform. This is especially helpful when I try to message someone on LinkedIn, but maybe their DMs are insane or they just haven't checked their notifications in a while, so I can now email or text them. So if you're interested in learning more about how this tool works, check out the video linked in the description of this video, or go down to the link in the description to get the Chrome extension for free. Okay, let's move down to the About section on your LinkedIn profile. The About section on your LinkedIn profile is a crucial component for showcasing your professional story, skills, and achievements. It's an opportunity to make a strong first impression and give visitors a comprehensive understanding of who you are and what you bring to the table. But before we dive into crafting your entire professional life story, let's just take a look at the fact that only the first 200 characters of your About section are even visible before you have to click View More to see the rest. This just means that the first 200 characters are more important than anything else. This is because most people won't actually click View More. Sorry to tell you. So your summary or intro needs to be on point. This should not be a brief summary of who you are and your professional identity. Think of it more like an elevator pitch. It should have a strong hook and encourage readers to continue reading and click that read more button. Use a hook that reflects your personality, passion, or unique value proposition. Here's a great example. I am a seasoned marketing professional with over a decade of experience driving successful campaigns and strategic initiatives for leading global brands. Wow. That does sound impressive. Now, when it comes to the rest of your About section, here are some useful tips. Be concise. Keep your paragraphs short and to the point. Aim for clarity and brevity. Large blocks of text will turn people off and they likely just won't read it. Use first-person terminology. Write in the first person using I and my. This makes your profile more personal and engaging. Highlight key information. Use bullet points, headers, and white space to break up text and highlight important information. Now, end your About section with the CTA to connect with you. You can literally include a final paragraph that says something like, now, make sure you update this regularly. Keep your About section updated with new skills, achievements, and changes to your professional focus. Let's talk about SEO. It's a good idea to incorporate relevant keywords throughout your About section to improve your profile searchability on LinkedIn. Think about terms that recruiters or potential clients might use to find someone with your skills and experience, and make sure to include those. As an example, use phrases like digital marketing expert, SEO specialist, content strategist, and brand development naturally within your text. Could also be a good opportunity to use an AI tool like ChatGPT to include all of your relevant search terms in your About section in a natural way. Under your About section is a featured section where you can add multiple featured items. You can feature a post, a newsletter, an article, an external link, media like photos or documents, or feature content from your profile like your experience, certifications, recommendations, or courses. Now, depending on your goals on LinkedIn, you'll choose something different. Now, if you're looking to get leads from LinkedIn, it's best to just add an external link to your website or portfolio, or even a link to book a call with you. Now, it's critical that you update the open graph image on your webpage that you're linking to so that there's some relevant information on the image. Take a look at this example where you have a branded call to action that acts almost like a big button to click through to book a call. And if you do decide to add an external link, I highly recommend just adding one link to your featured section and nothing else. This just gives people one big action to take and they don't need to decide whether they want to read your article or check out your website. Just make the decision for them. But if you really do want to add multiple featured items, try to keep it to just 2 items at the most. The content starts to get really small and hard to read at 3 items, and then anything after 4 will just turn it into a carousel and people will need to click a button to see your other content. So just keep it to 2 if you really need to. Now, under your featured section is your activity. This is where people can see your posts, comments, videos, images, documents, and all the other stuff that you've published on LinkedIn. Optimizing the activity section of your LinkedIn profile can significantly enhance your visibility, engagement, and overall impact on the platform. And to someone who's on your profile, they can see that you're actually active on LinkedIn. So ideally, you want to create valuable content on a consistent basis if you can. You can share insights, tips, and industry knowledge, or personal stories, experiences, and lessons learned. Just having some personal posts will make your content relatable and engaging, and it's important to stay consistent. Again, remember that people can see how long ago you posted, so try to post maybe 2 to 3 times a week on different topics related to your industry. And make sure to use multimedia like photos and videos in your posts, since visual content is more engaging and it can help explain more complex concepts. But the other benefit here is that visual content will also show up in the video, image, and documents tab, so it kind of just rounds out your profile a bit better. Now, of course, getting tons of reactions and comments will help, but even if you're just getting started and it's not really getting much engagement, just posting consistently will help your profile immediately stand out. Now, moving on to your experience and education section on LinkedIn. Now, when you're detailing your job experience, don't just list your job title. Make sure to also describe your roles and responsibilities within the job, having some bullet points that include some quantifiable achievements. This will help show people the value in your role and the outcomes that you provided. For example, instead of just saying managed a team, you could say led a team of 10 to achieve a 20% increase in sales. That's a quantifiable achievement. Now, you should also include freelance, contract, and part-time work, not just your full-time jobs. This will help round out your experience and paint the full picture of your past work experience. Now, you can further enhance your work experience section by including multimedia content like images and videos that are relevant to your experience. Now, under your experience is your education section, where you can include where you went to school, and most people kind of just stop there. But you can also stand out by adding some additional information that'll help you stand out from the crowd. Now, make sure to include all relevant activities and societies you're part of, and then in the description, you can talk about all of the projects you completed or interesting courses that you took that helped you get to where you are today. You should also add specific skills that you acquired during your education. If you learned programming or video production or project management or even public speaking, make sure to include that. Now, when it comes to your skills, select those skills that are most relevant to your profession, but don't be afraid to add in some others too. If you're in a sales or marketing position in the tech industry and you do know how to do some programming, you should absolutely include that skill to the list. And then you can get other people, like colleagues and friends, to endorse you on those skills. These endorsements add credibility to your profile. And just remember, make sure to return the favor and endorse others too. This is a great way to build relationships as well. And similar to getting skills endorsed, you can also get recommendations from others. Recommendations are basically just powerful testimonials on your profile. Reach out to colleagues, mentors, or clients and ask them for recommendations. Be specific about what you'd like them to highlight and ask them to be genuine and detailed. And then again, in return for a recommendation, offer to write them a recommendation as well. Now, there's a couple other additional sections that you shouldn't overlook. You can leverage the projects, licenses, and certifications, publications, and even volunteering sections that can bring some additional credibility to your profile. These can showcase your expertise and achievements beyond your work experience. For example, adding relevant certifications or notable projects can help set you apart from the competition. So if you did a really interesting art project, personal project, or a podcast, or something else that's genuinely interesting to add or helps you stand out, make sure to include that in one of the relevant sections. Okay, so if you've been following along by now, you should have your profile completely filled out with all of your professional information. But there's a few things that we can do to further optimize our profile. Remember, LinkedIn is both a social networking site and a search engine. So keep your profile SEO friendly and make sure that it's constantly updated. Regularly refresh your headline and profile summary, experience descriptions, and other sections to reflect your current role and goals. Find the industry-specific keywords that you want to be discovered for and use those specific keywords throughout your profile to improve your searchability on not just LinkedIn, but on Google search results as well. And a lot of recruiters and sales professionals will use Sales Navigator, which is a premium LinkedIn subscription, to filter for people with specific roles, work experience, or skills. So making sure that you have your profile dialed in and ready to be found, you'll not only grow your presence on LinkedIn, but the right opportunities will start to come to you. And if you're the go-getter type, which I assume you are watching this video, then you probably don't want to just wait for opportunities to come to you. In fact, you can also use Sales Navigator yourself to find your next big client or job opportunity. And since most people also optimize their profiles as well, finding the right people that you want to connect with using Sales Navigator is actually pretty straightforward. You can learn how to use this powerful tool yourself by watching this video. It's honestly a game changer and totally worth checking out the free trial. You can also find that link in the description of this video. Have a magical day, and I'll see you in that next video.